Uh, there we go. We'll admit all. All right. So now that everyone is here, you can go ahead, Samantha or Froylan. You can go ahead and begin to serve up the information for us.
All right, sounds good. Watching time here. Okay. Hello, everyone. I was about to say good morning, but it's not the morning. It's been a long day. My name is Froylan Hernandez. I am an admissions counselor for UW-Madison. I work specifically with all of the Milwaukee students, which happens to cover DSHA. So I am sort of your point of contact and your counselor if you're considering UW-Madison. You can go ahead and hit the next slide, Samantha. No, I think it's frozen. Oh, there we go. Okay, so just a little sort of intro. I'm going to be breaking down the college application process specifically as it relates to UW-Madison, of course. So in the junior year, it's a long process, the college application process, but you can start doing some things even now before you reach your senior year. Some of the things that I recommend doing are start thinking about selecting your senior year courses. For Madison specifically, that's going to be a very important sort of process that you're going to engage in because your senior year is going to be the most important one. That's the one that we're going to focus on when you apply with a little bit more of a priority, if that makes sense. Of course, we're going to look at the rest of the high school record, but we're going to look at your senior year courses with the biggest magnifying glass. Explore schools. You're doing the right thing now by doing this sort of a college fair, school exploration process. That's definitely a good thing because you want to make sure you're applying to the right schools come senior year. Plan for college entrance exams if that's something that you're considering. A lot of schools are going test optional just given the current situation. So just consider that as well as you're making your list of schools. Sit down with your counselor, talk through some plans. There are maybe some really great resources available through your high school, so consider those as well. And visit schools. That can be a little bit of a weird subject right now, especially in our current situation, but you can definitely do some virtual visits. Madison has that opportunity, and I'm sure other schools as well, so you can at least get a sense of the school before you apply, which you would do then in your senior year. In addition to that, you can request some materials after you apply. Madison specifically, and I'll go over this in a few minutes here, has some additional materials beyond your application that are going to be required. Submit to FAFSA if you're able to. Really great opportunities specifically at Madison, being that you are Wisconsin students. Stay involved and maintain your grades. Two things that are going to make a really big component of your application are going to be the activity summaries and your grades, of course. At Madison, there are two sort of big times that you should keep in the back of your head if you're considering applying. Two deadlines are going to be November 1st and February 1st. Those are going to be for early action and regular decision, respectively. They're the same, none of them, you don't have to commit. Well, you have to commit by May 1st for both of them, but early action is not binding. That just means that you're just going to get an earlier decision, as you can see on the screen here, by January 31st. And then if you apply by February 1st instead, you'll just get a later decision by March 31st. So again, no huge difference there beyond just when you receive the decision. At Madison, there are, again, I mentioned a few things beyond the application. The first sort of block, the first four here are going to be on the application itself. So there's the personal information like name, what school or schools you've gone to, parent contact information, typical things that are a part of every application. An activity summary doesn't have to be super extensive. Just some things that you're interested in. If you have family responsibilities, part-time work, things like that, that'll just give us a sense of your life outside of school. And then in addition to that, you'll have two essays. The first of which is a personal statement. It's pretty standard and typical for colleges. You probably have one already in the back of your pocket, in your back pocket, sorry. Most of the students use those for different colleges. The second essay that was going to be UW specific. So there you're going to tell us about any specific academic interests that you have or how you can explore those at Madison, and then anything that excites you about UW-Madison specifically. And then beyond that, we do offer the opportunity to give us additional information. So sometimes, students look at their transcript and then they notice like a dip in grades or, a B in a math class. but you want to tell us that, hey, this teacher is really hard and gives everyone B's, or, during this particular time in my life, I had lower grades because I just started a part-time job and I didn't really know how to balance until a few months into my job. Anything like that that you want to add to your application, we're going to take it into account. So you can feel free to add that in any sort of additional information section, whether you use the Common App or the e-app. Course and grade information is pretty standard. One letter of recommendation is required, but you can submit more. Test scores are optional. They will be optional for you going through the next 2 application cycles, and then an application fee or a fee waiver. Whichever application you decide to use, those will be, you can tell us if you need a fee waiver there, and then we don't check that, so we just take your word for it. I'll try to go quickly here. I'm reaching my time. So just a quick little note about the way we review applications. We look at things beyond the transcript as well. That's going to be our sort of foundation and, going to guide our decision definitely, but beyond just your grades and courses, we're going to look at different things like I mentioned earlier, things like community involvement, service and leadership, and then how well you're going to plug into Madison and then your specific major as well. And then just on some personal tips, taking off my counselor hat and putting on my I was once a high school student hat. Don't disqualify yourself. A lot of people, especially with Madison, I find they just think, oh, I'm not going to get in. I'm not going to bother applying. And even at other schools as well, don't do that. We're the ones who make the decisions. We have that sort of professional and even that UW-Madison lens that is going to make the sound decision. So don't make the decision for us, but let us do it. And really the worst thing that you can hear is no. And if you don't make yourself listen to that, let us give you that decision. Be true to yourself. Sounds a little live, laugh, fluffy kind of thing, a little tacky, but really what we're looking for is not necessarily somebody who tries to stand out, but rather somebody who stands out because they're unique or they tell us their individual story. Ask for help. You've got a lot of different resources. I'm one of them. Like I said, I like to be really involved. If students choose to reach out to me or to our office, kind of guide them along the process, but you've got some great resources at DSHA as well. Be organized, really great tests of your adultness and your responsibilities as you start to transition to college is the actual application process itself. So you can start being responsible, gaining some skills there. And then along with that, just prepare and balance, make sure you're doing the right things and, save time to live it up still. It's your senior year, but don't get senioritis, just a little bit of a balance there. All right, so that is it. This is sort of a quick, you can take a picture of it or a screenshot if you're able, just a quick summary of ways to contact us. Again, I like to be involved, but people throughout our office as well like to be involved. If you need help at any point throughout the application process, even before you start out, we're happy to help. So you can feel free to reach out to us. Or me specifically, I have my email there on the first half there. So I'll go ahead and let Samantha take over. Thank you so much for switching through the slides too.
Oh, you're so welcome. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Samantha. I do go by Sam. I am a regional for University of Nebraska, Lincoln. So I actually live an hour and a half, hour, 20 minutes north of Milwaukee near Oshkosh. So not too far away from where you guys are at. And so I've been doing this for about 3 years. And I'm very much like Froylan, I love being involved in this process. I have created a lot of great relationships with students, maintained a lot of connection to them, even after they have attended and they've gone on and they're students at Nebraska. So this is my contact info. That is my cell phone. Do not be afraid to text me if you've got questions where you're at with your app. You don't know what you want to do with your major, just anything. Don't be afraid. I'm here for it. I love hearing from you. And then I'm just going to be sharing a little bit of information on Nebraska. I know y'all are a little bit more familiar with Madison and Marquette, but Nebraska, maybe you've heard of it, maybe you've seen us on football and probably lose, and you don't really know exactly a whole lot about campus. And so we're located in Lincoln. Lincoln's the second largest city in the state of Nebraska. It's on the eastern border of the state. From Milwaukee, it's about 7.5 hours of a drive. Total student body population, almost 26,000. We are a very heavily focused undergraduate institution. So if you see that breakdown, almost 21,000 of our students are undergraduates. Lincoln itself is a growing, I would call it a small city metropolis of almost 300,000 people. There is a lot to do. Our campus is almost right in downtown. It's a traditional campus, but right when you walk off, you're right in downtown Lincoln. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. All right, so our admission requirements are actually very clear cut. We actually have what's called guaranteed rolling admission as long as you meet our performance requirements and our core courses. Kind of makes it a little bit of an easier guessing point if you are planning those classes for next year. Biggest thing I want to point out on here is we do require 4 units of math, and that 4th unit is considered what we call an upper division math. So something that goes past your algebra 2 and geometry. So a lot of the times that's going to be your AP stats classes, pre-calculus, calculus, things of that nature. So if, like I said, if you've got a question, you're not really sure what math you should be taking next year, just let us know what you're thinking and we'll let you know if that's going to count. Outside of that, our units are going to be kind of translated into courses. So 1 unit is going to be 1 full year of English. That's the best way I can kind of describe that. World language, we've opened that up. So if anyone's taking like a sign language course or anything like that, we will count that towards like what you would normally consider your foreign language. And so we are kind of a hybrid between test optional, test blind. So if you have an ACT and if you think it's going to help you out, go ahead and submit it. If you don't, we won't look at it. And we'll always take the highest ACT and or GPA combination with or without. So we want to support you. Lots of opportunities for scholarship, for merit-based scholarships to drive down that out-of-state cost as well. So it's really up to you. That's a conversation that we can have on a more one-on-one basis and kind of help walk you through that process. But these are our base admission requirements. And so at least having a 3.0, if you take the ACT, if you get a 20 or higher, vice versa. And so it really just depends on where you're at. With all of that come the spring. So we don't have any early action, early decision, but we do have a wonderful program called True Red. And it's super awesome if you can get your application materials together by November 2nd and apply, because as you can see, we send out some free swag. So it's kind of cool just to say, hey, you've got admitted, congrats. You know, we send out some stickers, some scarves, some flag, just something to celebrate your achievements in getting admitted into Nebraska. Along with it, you'll also be able to get your scholarship information sooner, have access to housing application that comes available usually in late December. So just kind of, getting your ducks in a row a little bit earlier on helps you make a decision sooner. Scholarships, like I had mentioned, we have a lot of great merit-based scholarships. That's all the information is going to be on our website. So feel free to use that out-of-state scholarship estimator at that link. It's wonderful. And it is right now, if you type in your GPA right now, without a test score, you can even see right now what scholarship you can get, what you're eligible for coming into UNL in 2022. So we also have a scholarship statement that's due on February 1st, and we will renew and look at everything for merit-based scholarships up until May 1st of your senior year. This is our timeline. Like I said, we are rolling admissions, so application opens on August 1st. FAFSA is going to open every year, usually October 1st, unless something changes, but you'll know about it. Our University Honors Program, we have 2 hard deadlines, our Business Honors Academy and our Rake School. It's a hard December-ish deadline that fluxes every year, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. And then housing will open in December. And then, like I said, you basically have up until May 1st to make a decision with that enrollment deposit and see what you're eligible for our scholarships. And so that is all I have. We will have a couple, we will have about 10 minutes probably for some Q&A after Rose presents.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Rose Littlefur-Howard, and I'm an admission counselor here at Marquette. I'm also a proud alum. I graduated from Marquette in 2016, and I'm also originally from Southern California. So it is days like today in the winter. Why am I here? I know I absolutely love Milwaukee and the Midwest and Marquette. I had somehow convinced my little sister to graduate from Marquette, and my parents up and moved from Southern California and are now my next door neighbors here in Wauwatosa. So they're just right there. A little scary. No, it's great. And I was able to meet my husband at Marquette. So this is a very special place for me. And I work solely with DSHA. So this is one of the only high schools. I only work with one other in the country. So this is where I'm able to dedicate most of my time. My contact information is on the screen. Please feel free to send an email. Like Froylan mentioned, you can take a photo of it, screenshot, whatever you'd like, and that is my direct phone line. So I try to answer my phone when I'm in the office, but I'll always call you back if I'm not around. So we'll just kind of dive in to our admissions process. Sam, oh, perfect. Wow, you are great. Okay, so our admissions process, while I think it's really nice that all three of us are here, because I know that right now, especially if you're a junior, you're thinking, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to remember all these different dates and all these different things? And the really wonderful thing, I think, if there's a silver lining in all of us going virtual, is that all of our information, deadlines, virtual information sessions, it's all accessible on our websites. And I've had the chance to look at both of our websites, or all three of our websites, and all this information can be found there. So never hesitate to go kind of browse, take a look. So don't feel like you have to remember these deadlines today. I promise you'll probably forget, but don't worry, it's all there for you once you need to go back. So at Marquette, when we are reviewing admissions applications, it is people like myself and my wonderful colleagues who are reviewing. So it's real people sitting on their couch with their dogs and their cats, reading your applications, really taking time to understand who you are through your transcript and your application essay and the activities and the things that you're involved in. So we really try to get to know you through this digital piece of paper, if you will. So what we require for our application is an official high school transcript. So Mr. Hendricks will send it on right over to us. We'll get that in there. We also ask for just one essay. And if there's anything I can tell you right now is, please don't write about something you think I want to hear, because I am a real human just like you, and I want to hear what makes you tick. Tell me about your dog that chases your mailman, or tell me about your favorite pair of socks, or tell me about something that you're really passionate about. I mean, this is really fun for you to get to write this piece that just, I know it can be overwhelming to think, how in the world is UW-Madison or University of Nebraska at Lincoln going to know who I am through this 15-page common application? And this is really the best part for you to shine. So write about something you want to write about. I guarantee I'll enjoy reading it because I feel so incredibly lucky to get to read these applications, especially the essay, because you are all incredible. Give yourself credit. Make sure you don't discount anything you've done in high school, whether you walk your neighbor's dog, or you stay late at school to help with student government, or maybe you stay late to chat with your teacher because you really like what you're learning. So tell us everything. That will be in the activities section. And then the last required piece for our application here at Marquette, in fact, it's not even required anymore, is a test score. So we are a test optional institution. I really like what Sam mentioned about them being kind of a hybrid between test optional and test blind. I know it's like, what do all these terms even mean? But at the end of the day, a test score should never hurt you. If you want to submit a test score, great, go ahead, we'll take a look at it. But if you don't feel comfortable, or you just don't want to, don't feel like you have to send it. We look at your high school transcript, we look at the classes that DSHA offered, and the nice thing is you have 2-3 people here that are very familiar with DSHA and the rigor of the high school. So keep that in mind as you're applying as well. I never want you to feel like you can't submit something, but also know that you have that option. And I think another silver lining of the pandemic is that many schools are turning to test optional and test blind procedures. So that's something to keep in mind as well. We have one admission deadline, that is December 1st. We are rolling admission. So that means if you apply starting September 1st, you'll receive a decision on September 15th, and we'll begin sending out decisions on a 2-week rolling basis from that point. So if you don't fret though, I always say apply by December 1st. It puts everyone at ease, including your family members. You can enjoy the holidays, not having to think about those college applications. But if you're somebody like me who applied to Marquette, not on the deadline, but after, because I had received an email saying, hey, it's free to apply. And I was like, okay, I guess I will. Know that you can apply after that deadline as well, and we'll still review your application within that 2-week rolling basis. I just like to say, kind of meet our deadline. It just puts, again, everyone at ease. Again, please feel free to reach out to us, but I want to kind of be respectful of all of your time and open it up to Q&A here.
And I just want to say, I believe we all have access to the chat function. So don't feel like you guys need to unmute yourself or show your face. If you're in your sweats and you got, your hair's not done, like that's cool. That's me almost every day. So go ahead and pop your questions in chat. And if you have something specific for one of the colleges, just type Madison or Marquette or Nebraska, and one of us will pick it up and answer it for you. We'd love to hear what you're thinking. And I think if you want, you can even do like a private chat to Daniel, and he will just read your question. So that way we don't see your name in case you're worried about that as well. That is totally cool. And if you don't have questions, then hopefully that just means we all did a really great job, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you on Zoom in the spring. Don't be afraid to reach out to us and ask us questions if you're considering us. I think we all have great knowledge to share, even if you don't end up coming to one of our institutions. We're here to help you anyway. So, all right, I see a question that came through. Is it better to apply knowing your major, or it does not matter? I'll answer it first. Us at Nebraska, we're mostly all direct admit, minus our College of Engineering and College of Architecture program. And so you can apply as an undecided student, it's fine. It's not gonna, set you behind or set you ahead. So I'll let Froylan and Rose answer that as well.
Yeah, so we're kind of the reverse here at Madison. We are not direct entry unless you're considering engineering or business. So you can apply with any sort of major. We've got a lot of them, so you can choose whichever one. It's only direct entry if you're business or engineering, like I said. And if you're undecided, just kind of, we still want to know what your sort of interests are. So you can type up, well, I kind of want to be a doctor, but I don't know how to get there. Or I really want to do like psychology, but I don't know what to do afterward. We can kind of connect the dots for you, but it's totally fine if you're undecided or if you're super decided.
And then here at Marquette, we are a direct entry institution. We have 7 academic colleges, but don't let that scare you. I came into Marquette as what we call as multi-interested student, so I kind of fell into that undecided category. That's okay too. You'll have an academic advisor that's assigned directly to you to help you figure out what it is that you enjoy, but also know that if you know right now what you have an interest in, whether that be nursing or business or engineering or communication, you can apply right into it and start right away as a freshman. But again, you're not locked into that one major. I myself changed my major 4 times at Marquette, so we can talk about that. So don't feel like you have to know right away. It's okay. Nobody expects you to know right away, right now, as a junior in high school, what you want to study. So we're all here to support you through that.
All right, I have a private message here, a private question. It says, do you have any advice for things to write in your essay? I feel like I don't have anything important enough to talk about.
Yeah, I think I might start off because I see a question for, it's a pretty quick one here for me. When will I have a college visit at DSHA? I'm thinking sometime in the spring, maybe after March when we're a little less busy on our end at least. But then senior year, there'll definitely be opportunities to connect maybe sometime around October as well, right before that November 1st deadline. And then the question about the essay, really there's no, I'm sure that they're going to share the same info, but there's no really like cookie cutter way of writing your essay. A lot of students talk to us about, like this is how like this religious experience shaped me, or sometimes students write about. I have one that comes to mind about a student who had a beekeeping business, and that was pretty interesting. It was definitely unique. I think when I was applying to schools, I was writing about how I was previously an undocumented student, and just writing about my success there. So really, it can be about anything that you want, and sometimes you don't think that your interests are interesting, or you think that all you do is like sit around at home taking care of your little brother or something, but that's interesting in itself too, and that's definitely worth knowing about, at least for me, because part of the thing that I do when I'm reading applications is I'm looking for that sort of personal connection to the student. So yeah, no cookie cutter way, but can really be about anything.
And there's a private question again here. It says, can you talk about the new business school building plans and business school for Marquette?
Sure. So, as our Marquette community announced a while back, we were planning. I mean, this was announced prior to COVID-19. We are planning to break ground on a brand new business school right where I don't know how familiar you all are with Marquette's campus, but right on the corner of 16th and Wisconsin Street. So where one of our large residence halls used to be. As to that brand new building, we've seen the rendering. You're welcome to go take a look. I believe there's rendering on our website as well as on jsonline.com. There will be a state-of-the-art everything within this business school, but as to when it will be completed, I don't know. I don't have that information, but if you want to follow up with me via email, I'd be happy to connect you with somebody on campus who can help you out with that and answer that question a little bit further.
Okay, this is good. And I would say if you all have questions, please feel free to jump in and ask them. This is that time. And we have about 5 minutes remaining, so please do jump in and ask those questions. Nothing is unimportant. All these things are valuable. Okay, the other question here, Nebraska. Can you tell us more about the culture downtown?
Absolutely. So I hate to compare anything to Madison, but you guys are so used to this, what you know, right? So all my students from the area always tell me it's a similar vibe because obviously Madison's campus is so integrated into downtown. So is Marquette's. The biggest difference with ours is our campus is kind of in like a triangular shape, and downtown and the entertainment districts really kind of border it in an L-shaped like kind of way. And so the culture is you have tons, I mean, it's a great college city. It really is. And so it's safe, it's walkable. Traffic is not anywhere near like what we're used to. I'm actually from the Chicago area, and so I can contest. You can get across Lincoln in literally 20 minutes, and it's wonderful. Students, you can walk across campus in 15 minutes, and you're in downtown, depending on which resident hall you're in, at most 10 minutes. So it is a walking campus. You can bring a car down, but plenty of stuff going on all the time. Nightlife, it's there. Our Pinnacle Bank Arena that hosts our basketball team has concerts when it's not COVID. So there's always stuff going on. They've done a lot of great work creating new entertainment areas around the Pinnacle Bank Arena. So you will not be bored. And I will also say there's a ton of things to do on campus as well. So if you need to stay on campus and you're not, you can't do things until you're a certain age and you don't want to get in trouble, there's a ton of stuff to do to keep you entertained on the weekends and in the evenings. And so plenty of stuff to do. You're going to get that same Big Ten culture if you're into sports or anything. Even if you're not really into sports, it's just kind of a really fun place to be. And so I will let Marquette ask that one about nursing.
Yeah, so nursing is a direct admit program here at Marquette. All of our programs at Marquette are direct admit. The one thing I like to add for any of you, even if you're right now maybe considering, maybe you're kind of thinking, I want to go into healthcare, but I don't really know what area I'd like to serve in. If at any point you think nursing might be something you'd be interested in, I recommend applying directly into the College of Nursing at Marquette because you can of course transfer out. It's just very rare that we allow any students to transfer into nursing once they're at Marquette. So that's really the only exception to that rule. You can transfer in and out of everywhere else except for nursing. That one is pretty strict as far as getting in as a freshman. So right now, as a junior, if you're thinking about it, I recommend applying in next year as a senior.
Okay, and I will do this. Thank you so much, you all. We have about 1.5 minutes left, and there's a question here, and I think you all will concur with this. Someone had asked, oh, our amazing first arrival. I like it. Can having a business in high school set you up for success when applying to a business school at a university? Would you all concur that is an absolute yes? Absolutely. I agree with that as well. So great questions, great questions. Thank you to all who did ask questions, and thank you to all who, stay with us for the entire session. I want to invite you to the other sessions that are available. This is the conclusion of the first presentation in this breakout session. If you've just arrived, we're going to be starting that session in about a minute. If you would like to go to a different breakout room, please do. You should be able to click a link in the email that you received after registration to maybe on financial aid or maybe on you know, a different topic, but you can go ahead and do that now. And we are actually about to start the second session, the second go round for